of you guys sitting in the audience today feel like that they are phone addicts? Even if you don't consider yourself to be one, did you know that the average person spends over 3 hours on their smartphone, equivalent to 1,095 hours a year? That's insane. That's even more time people spend exercising or talking to their loved ones. Research tells us people who have any sort of addiction are known to exhibit aggressive traits in pursuit of their stimulus. This rings true for me personally. So on my third birthday, I learned how to use a phone. To be brutally honest, as a child, I couldn't manage how much screen time I had. And because of that, me and my technology grew up hand in hand. It got extremely problematic to the point where my mother started to give me daily reminders and nagged me to stop using my phone. My phone addiction got to the point where I couldn't live without sending daily messages to my friends, watching random and incredibly long YouTube videos, and scrolling through my Instagram feed. It's worth noting that for a long period in my life, I couldn't live without my phone. Because I'm not that perfect girl which parents dream about, constantly studies and her favorite subject is math. Honestly, I hate math. In preparation for this talk, I thoroughly researched why we behave like that. And inherently, I got to know that social media applications as well as cell phone technology has been designed to be kept in our hands for as long as possible. When you unlock some new content, your brain is secreted by these chemicals. When you unlock some new content, these chemicals are dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. These chemicals are secreted by the brain during activities that make you feel love, happiness, and joy. With every one of those interactions, especially if you unlock some new content, as a result of it, your brain is flooded by a tiny fountain of joy. As this continues to happen, stimuli and reward, and so on, the compulsion loop is created. This is why people can't stop using their phone while driving or at the gym or even at the dinner table. Over 70% of adults have been admit that being addicted to their mobile phones, with teens spending an average of 9 hours a day on their smartphone. This compulsion loop is also shown in nicotine and heroin addicts. For proof, we do not need to look further than our own homes. My parents have always forced me to leave my phone. But the more I observe them, the more I get to know that they use their phones the same, if not more than us. Like one fine day, my dad came home from work and noticed me using my phone and asked me quite sternly to leave my phone. I'll tell you what the real story was. After I left my phone, I wandered around the house and noticed my dad watching a show on his laptop, my sister occupied the TV, and my mother was winding down her phone. What in the world was happening here? I couldn't help but stare at them. Most of our parents, especially my dad, get the Netflix subscription for the family, but end up using it more themselves. We've established how addictive this is, but what is the problem? Technology is frankly amazing, connecting relatives and friends across international borders and letting us access real-time information just using our fingertips. Excessive smartphone users have so many mental health issues like anxiety and depression. As someone who has been active on social media for quite some time, I have noticed that online content can lead to feelings of isolation and stress. We're all told to take social media and online content as a generous help of sort. But when I saw those perfect photos of people enjoying their lives, I've often felt bad about mine. Constant notifications have also disrupted my sleeping schedule. One of the most significant consequences of social media is the impact on relationships. Social excessive phone usage during face-to-face conversations can lead to feelings of neglect and frustration among loved ones. However, all hope is not lost. There are two easy steps you can take to overcome this phone addiction. These are connect and block. Blocking is a simple practice of setting aside time to do important work. The first element is removing distractions. This means setting your phone on airplane mode. And if you're working on your computer and exercising your willpower, not to open a new tab and start using social media and checking your emails. The second element is dedicating time. Great thing about time is that it has a start and an end. So if you crave that Instagram dopamine hit, you'll still get it, but with a slight delay. This allows you to concentrate more on your work instead of using social media. The second practice is connecting. You see, a family rolls into a restaurant and sit down, and while they're waiting for their food to arrive, everyone opens their phones and start using social media. When I meet with someone, I want us to be present and paying attention and to our talks. It cannot be happen by compulsively checking your phones every 5 minutes. So I often ask, why don't we turn our phones off and put them on airplane mode, or at the very least, put them out of sight? When this happens, it becomes a promise. I promise to respect your time, and I promise to be right here with you. The conversation immediately becomes deeper and more meaningful. My advice is that you find something more activities that you can get lost in, like try the Japanese practice of force bathing, or picking up a brush, or learning how to paint, or reading a novel. Do anything. Before we end, I want all of you to take out your phones and check your screen time. People who have more than 1 hour, please raise their hands. And people who have more than 3 hours, please raise their hands. You can all lower your hands. While I was researching for this talk, I got to know that an average lifespan of 81 years, and at some point, maybe you sleep. But the rest of our 13 years of our life, we spend staring at our phones. My goal is that you will read some of what you read here today, take some of what you read here today with you. We only get one shot at this life thing. And it is not too late. I challenge each one of you that you reclaim your time and your life. And it is not too late to overcome this phone addiction. Remember, it's not about disconnecting from the world, but reconnecting with what truly matters to you.